Don't go that way. The cops down there.
You can't go that way?
Yep, go that way. I don't know what to say, Facebook. I'm out in my neighborhood and I just don't understand. And I'm not gonna make this about me. I'm gonna make this about our community. Um, I work really hard to try to get investment in our community. And it's not easy on the east side to get people to invest. You know, they have these stereotypes about us. And I'm just being truthful. They do. But I understand how people are feeling with race. I'm a black man. You know I'm black, right? I'm not white. I know the feelings. I know the rage. I know the disappointment. I know all that stuff. But to tear up our own community, I don't get that one. So I'm a little bit frustrated and upset. You know, I understand protests. We should protest. There's a lot of injustices to us. But to tear up our neighborhood, I just don't get that. You know, you all know who's on Facebook with me right now, know how hard I work in my community to engage our community. You know, it ain't perfect. Nothing's ever perfect for us. We always got to work twice as hard as everybody else. But we do what we got to do. But to have police up and down Bailey, dogs, you know, people shooting, I mean, it's just something I just never thought I would see. And so I'm really disappointed from that point of view, because I know that in some cases people are sincere about their protests that happens to black men. They sincere about that, and I'm with that for real. But when you take opportunity and you tear up our neighborhood using it in the guise of protest, now that ain't cool. You know, and there's a lot that we got to deal with in our community. There's a lot of disparities. Of course there are. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but do we do it? Do we attack it by doing this? We can't attack it by doing this. We're better than this. But it hurts me to my heart because they know I work hard in my community. I'm not just out here just saying, give me, give me. I'm trying to do for us. You know, and we got to do better because we can. We can't let people define us. We are greater than this. But right now, I'm hearing about gunshots, police being ran over, looting and all that. I don't know what to say. Because I know it's not all about the black man and how these police officers, in some cases who are rogue police officers, are killing it's not just about that. There's a whole lot of things, and I'm agreeing with it. You know, this started with Rodney King, Trayvon Martin. Yeah, it's real. You know, we need justice for those people, for those men that died. But this is not the way we go about doing it. This can't be the way we go about doing it, because we tearing up our own neighborhood. And you know, we can't get investment back here. They ain't gonna come back here and invest in our community. They gonna be like, oh, see, I told you about those people. That's what they gonna say. So that's their reason to not invest in our neighborhoods. So instead of that mother being able to go around the corner to the corner store, she gotta find a bus. You know, we trying to do so much in our community, and I'm telling you, we can do better. We gotta find out how to do this, but not in a way that tears up our neighborhood. Why would we tear up our neighborhood? I see all the protests going on all throughout the country, and we're tearing up our neighborhood. Go somewhere else and loot. Loot somewhere else. Don't loot in our neighborhood. We need every single resource in our neighborhood that we can get. Every single resource. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed because I'm driving around and there are people laughing and joking like this is a joke. This ain't no freaking joke. This is real. This is people's lives. You got these police officers, and I'm not protecting them, but I'm saying that they're on edge. And we don't need another murder of another black man who may not be a part of nothing, just walking up the street. But because they on edge, they shooting. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to see another black man dead. We got enough black men dead. But we don't want to talk about the other issue. What about the black men that we kill every day ourselves, killing one another? A 15-year-old girl was just murdered the other day. We ain't talking about that. So I'm just saying, people, we got to do something. And it ain't just a black politician. It's just a politician's responsibility to fix all this. I've only been a council member for 5 years. So you telling me I got to fix it? But I'm saying we together can come up with some solutions. We together can come up with some ideas. We together can do a whole lot. But when we start shaming everybody because you ain't doing what we want you to do because another murder happens and we ain't doing what we're supposed to do, you're saying I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, what I'm supposed to do? But I think together we can strategize, because that's what it's about. You know, I said something on BOK the other day. The civil rights movement could teach us so much. But some of us don't care about that. You know, one thing about those folks, they stood together. They stood together. And that's where I'm coming from. We might not agree on everything, but let's not point fingers and lay blame on every person. You lay blame on me when a lot of you know how hard I work. I'm trying to put a graduation event together for our young people so we can celebrate them because they're not being able to graduate. That's not my job. But I want to celebrate them because I think it's important for our young people to get that celebration, that opportunity. But now, how do you talk about a backdrop of us looting in our own neighborhood? Come on. I'm trying to get every resource that I can so that we can have economics in our neighborhood, so our young people don't have to go to Walmart. They can be working in their neighborhood or have their own business in their neighborhood. That's what I'm talking about. But part of it, some of us don't even vote. We don't even vote, but we want to talk about the discrimination and the racism and the police and all that, but we don't even vote. We got the nerve to talk about stuff and we don't even vote. That's part of the way we fix it. I'm just sick to my stomach right now because this is my neighborhood. This is where I work hard. I labor with my block clubs and people who understand that we have to empower ourselves. We don't have to get power from nobody. Empower ourselves. My sons are worried about me being out here. Dad, they shooting. Yeah, I know they shooting. But I just had to get a message because I wasn't going to say nothing. You know, because I feel helpless. Because I'm not a law enforcement officer, but I want to encourage our people. If you're watching this and you want to talk about what the politicians aren't doing, I'm going to say, what are you doing? How are you helping the cause? Because you blaming us? I have community meetings all the time, and I get a good number of people, but there's a lot of people that don't show up. And I'm saying, hey, I want to hear from you. I'm not the politician that says, oh, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I want to hear from you. But we got to come together on this issue. This is something that I'm a local at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to local laws and stuff. But we got to get to our state people and our federal people. But those are the conversations we should be having. Ain't nobody calling out Senator Schumer. Ain't nobody calling out Senator Gildebrand. They ain't calling those folks out, but they gonna call a local politician. It's our fault. Well, these are federal guidelines and federal things that have to be put in place. But you don't even know that. Because you blaming us. You blaming the black politician. Oh, it's Pritchard's fault. It's Wyatt's fault. It's the mayor's fault. I'm not blaming nobody. I'm saying that we together should sit down and strategize. Call us out. Let's strategize. Let's work together. Because nobody knows it all. I sure don't. But I'm telling you, if we came together in peace and talked about what we need to do, I'm with that. I'm with that. When Trayvon Martin was killed, I was president of NAACP in Newport News, and I marched with people. I want to march with people. I want to stand with people for peace, but I'm not standing with nobody to tear up our own community. No, I'm not doing that. I work too hard to try to get things in our community, get businesses in our community. Why would I want to tear up my community? People, business that have moved here because of the neighborhood, because it's a good neighborhood. We got some positive things going on for us. We ain't got to wait for somebody to give us a handout. But when we tear up our neighborhood, nobody wants to do business here. So you go and you rob the people at a sneaker store. Why? Why do we not rob a sneaker store? I don't get it. I'm just going to keep going on and on. I just hope that somebody is encouraged by what I'm saying and understands and sees where I'm coming from. I get the rage. We all should be, as if you're a black person, you know how we've been marginalized and how we've been mistreated. We all have. None of us have been exempt from that. I can tell you how many times I've been discriminated against, turned away, and I had to go and file a complaint with EEOC and all different bodies, and I didn't get nowhere. They didn't see me. I know sometimes they don't see us, but we got to keep fighting, and we got to fight the right way. We don't fight by tearing up our neighborhood, though. We can't, because we're not going to win. When Dr. King talked about nonviolence, you know why he did nonviolence? Because we don't have enough guns to go after them. We don't have enough guns. They got more guns than we can ever have. And they got dogs out here. I was upset that I saw dogs in my neighborhood on our people. But when you're shooting after officers, you're running police officers over, what do you think they're going to do? I'm just telling you, we got to fight, but we got to fight the right way. I'm with you. I'm down with you for real. I'm not just making this up. I'm not just on live just talking stuff. I'm saying we got to stand together. We can do this. It's stuff that we have to do. And I'm with you. I'm standing right there with you. I'm not saying, oh, let's run and let them do it all by themselves. No, we got to stand together. I'm smelling smoke. I'm hearing helicopters. I'm thinking I'm in Compton. For real, I'm thinking I'm in Compton. I'm like, what? This is not Buffalo? I'm going to say something, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to work with people and say, let's get together. Let's get with our elected officials and talk about a strategy. We do need some reforms. I totally agree. We've had some situations on the council that we've had to pay out large sums of money. But we can't figure out, we don't have all the information on that person's record. That's what we've asked for before, but we can't get it because it's a personnel matter. But the individual who killed George Floyd, there was 18 situations where this individual was doing things that he wasn't supposed to do. And those are the situations we need to weed out those officers. Now, not every officer is bad. Let's not take a broad brush and say every police officer is a bad police officer, but we do have some bad apples, and we need to find out how do we get to those individuals. But we can't do it by being violent. We can't do it by tearing up our own neighborhood. We can't do it by putting police officers on edge because they're already on edge. People, I'm telling you with all my heart, I love my city. I love what I do for my people. And I know I have people who love me, but we have to stand and we have to teach our young people. We can't change a system by being violent. It just can't happen. You know, and I know if Dr. King was here, Malcolm X, they would teach us that we can't operate that way. We can't operate that way. We're not going to win. We just end up losing. And you know, they're not going to bring money back to our community. People, I'm going to sign off. I hope that you're home and you're safe. Pray for our city. Pray for our country. We're not going in the right direction. But together, we can start making some strides. Because after the looting is over, after we burn down something, what changes? We just have less services in our neighborhood. We have one less grocery store. We got one less hair store. We got one less sneaker store. So now we got to go to the Galleria. And you know, they don't really want us out of the Galleria. You know, so the things that we try to put in our neighborhood so that we can have access to things, we don't have because we have to go somewhere else. So we just have to build ourselves up and keep each other encouraged that this is our city, this is our community, and we can make it better for us. We don't have to worry about what everybody else is doing nationally. We got to worry about what do we do for the city of Buffalo? What do we do for the University District? What do we do for the Ellicott District? What do we do for Madison? How do we make the people in those communities better? How do we have resources for them to do business and be better? That's what I'm talking about. I can't, what happened to George, what they did to him, we want justice. And all four of those officers, I agree, should be arrested. And it shouldn't have been a third-degree murder charge. It's been first degree. You did it purposely. And so I stand with everyone that we want justice for that man. And we want justice for everybody else that the police have done wrong. There has been numerous situations, and these people continue to walk free while our families suffer at the loss of a loved one. We need to do something about that, but we have to do it together. We can't do it by ourselves, and we can't lay blame on every single elected official or person who we believe should be doing something or should be doing more. Well, what are you doing? That's my question. What are you doing? What are we going to do? So after tonight, I hope that we're really roll up our sleeves and say, I want to be about changing our community and changing our nation. But we all got to be a part of it. It just can't be one person. There was only one Dr. King, and that's it. Now we can all be little kings and work together to make what he wanted a reality. I'm signing off. God bless you and have a good night.